Hey, this is Jeff with Real Music Radio, and we're gonna come at you with a series of videos, and started doing videos just talking about this and that. What I'm gonna do is talk about the question I'm asked all the time is how do I get into this music business, the music industry? How do I get my music out there? How do I get it played on the radio? And what does it take? Like, what do I got to do? And it's a great question. I mean. Not that I have all the answers, and there's plenty of people out there with millions of people who probably have the same, if not better, answers and have a lot more knowledge. But I'll give you my aspect because I'm asked a lot, so why not? One of the things I really like to get into, and this is something I hope you understand, is comes from my background as an artist and being in the art world, as far as paintings and working with black and grays and charcoals and portraits and paintings and working with pastels and acrylics and stuff like that. And this goes back since I was a kid. I mean, music and artwork. I've been doing this for a long time. And something about artwork, and this all will come together as you'll see through this conversation, is if you're an artist, something that I've always had an issue with is people putting a price tag on your artwork. For me, being that I like to work with different mediums, it's not always a cut and dry of what I might be creating or what I might be drawing or painting. Something that you would say, hey, I understand what that is. It's because it's coming from me. This is something when you talk about artwork in any medium, okay, it's something that comes from you as a person, your soul. This is who you are. This is your expression of what you are inside. This is what you're putting out there to the world, and you're saying, "Hey, world, look at me. This is what I created, and this is what I can do." Now, I have a big issue with people putting a slap and a price tag on it. And this goes back to when I was in school and I was in art classes, and I had a hard time with, and don't get me wrong, the teacher's trying to teach you a certain thing. But if they're teaching you, hey, you're going to take this drawing and you're going to make it look like this, it's got to look like this. And the people are all trying and they're trying, and I can't get it, and I'm terrible, I suck as an artist, I can't draw, and they just put their hands up and that's it. Well, what I eventually ended up doing was going around and helping people to understand what their art form is. Now, I might be able to make it look like that picture or back then. Whereas somebody else, it might come out a little different. Somebody else, it might come out completely different. And a lot of times they go, "Oh, well, you're learning. That's how you learn." No, well, no, artwork is different. See, what you're expressing comes from you inside. It's not going to be what I want you to make it be. If that's the case, then now I've taken your artistic ability and I've thrown it away, and I've said, now you're going to do what I want you to do. And it's got to look just like this. Where's the art form in that? Right? So now growing up, that didn't really help me in school neither, to be honest with you. Teacher didn't get it. And not saying I was better than the teacher. I'm just saying the teacher didn't get it. And didn't get why I was helping other people and not doing my own stuff. So when it comes down to what you want to put out as your art form and what you're doing, you got to ask yourself. This is what I ask a lot of artists, and this is a truth question now. What do you want it to be? What are you looking for? What do you want out of this? Do you want to be rich and famous, or do you want to put your art form out? Do you want to show your art form to the world? And I get different responses, of course. and not that the question is a right or wrong question. It's just an honest question. What do you want from this? And a lot of people will come out saying similar stuff. I want both. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, but if that's the case, then what are you willing to sacrifice along the way? Because, see, the music industry is not what they perceive, what they want you to put out. It's what or I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? The music industry is not there for you as an artist. Okay, it's there for people to make money. So if you don't sound like what's working for them at that time, then you're not what they're looking for. If you're not somebody that's already somebody they feel that they can market, then you're not what they're looking for. So, and there's a lot of aspects to that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible. And I want to drive that message home because I think it's important for you to understand as an artist, as a musician, what you're doing is is very it's very deep. Okay, it comes from you. It comes from your soul. It's coming from inside. And if I'm gonna step on it and tell you you don't sound like what I think is marketable today, yeah, so therefore you're not going to be put out, and we're not going to waste our time and invest our money into you. Now I've just created an issue with you as an artist, because now you're going to go back and say, I think I need to change what I'm doing, man. I need to sound like this guy. I need to sound like A so I can get to be a here on the radio. Now, some people take it to the extreme, and they sound exactly like this. Sorry, I gotta sound exactly like what's hot on the radio today. And a lot of times, what's hot on the radio is not what's great. It's not what's really, how should I say? Depends on the times, right? We've all been through the years, and as a child, what you might like is music your parents hated, and then as you get older, what you like, then now your kids don't like, and then your parents are like, that's still, I didn't care for that music. It all changes with time, of course, but when you start looking at the substance of the music and how music was created and what's being played out on the radio right now and stuff like that. Right now it's different. It's a little different, and a lot of it has to do with technology, because the technology's out there and it makes it easier to create a song. It makes it easier to manipulate this and manipulate that, and to come up with, hey, perfection. This is it, and this is the song. And why? Because it sounds exactly like what's on the radio today. And we've stripped away your art form. We've taken you as an artist, thrown that away, and now we're creating the same things that are already out there, and it loses its form, right? So even though now you say the money's there somehow, because the money don't come easy, and just for say something happens along the way, and now you've created where you're making money, but you've lost your art form. Okay. Along the way, you're gonna want to bring that back. You're gonna want to say, "Hey, I want to create now, man. I've done these songs, I've done that, and I'm starting to become successful, and I want to make my own stuff." And now they're not gonna let you. So a lot of times, what you have to do is stop and look at what you really want to do. Do you want to create your art form, which comes from inside? May not sound like what other people are digging. May not sound what people like at the time, but it's you. It's who you are. Or as a band, it's who you guys are together, working hard together, writing those songs and producing that music. And you don't want it to sound like everybody else. So now the question comes, well, it's not successful. It's not paying my bills, man. What do I got to do? How do I get this to work? And you run into roadblocks all along the way. You're going to have roadblock here, roadblock there. Everything's going to be stopping you from doing what you want to do. You got to survive. You got to eat. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay bills. You got to pay your car. You got to fix that flat. You got to take the girl out. You got to do this and that, or the girl's got to take the guy out. And you shouldn't be paying, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's either way, something's always going to stop you from creating your art form, man. It's happened to everybody, and it still happens to this day. So what do we do to get around that, right? Now, there's not no perfect answer, man. I would say, for me, I took a different route. Had kids early, worked from day one, and still working to this day. But now, because of that, it's allowed me that I'm able to do my other business on top of regular work. So it works. It's not easy, but it works. Now, a lot of people are young. You're coming out as an artist, and hey, I carry my guitar wherever where I go. I'm writing songs. I'm making music. I'm playing the clubs, and I gotta still survive. What do I do? Well, that's something, if we had the answer for that, man, everybody'd be making it, right? It takes hard work. Hard work, study, learn, educate yourself. One of my biggest things, and we'll get into this more in other videos because I want to try and keep these at 15 minutes, is education. Educate yourself in music and in the business side of it. Educate yourself on what you need to do. Get your songs created properly. Write your songs. Copyright yourself. Um, and get yourself registered and do it right because it's important, man. Maybe you might want to sell your stuff out of your trunk for your whole lives, but you still need to be registered. Do it right because things will happen along the way, and you want to make sure you get paid. And a lot of times people don't do that, and they wait till it's too late, and something all of a sudden you find out it's being used somewhere, and you didn't register, you didn't copyright it, and somebody's using it, and you can't do nothing about it, right? Well, you just need to educate yourself and find out a lot. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things we'll get into more. But like I said, one of my biggest things, and I'll stick to this from now to the end of the time, is what do you want out of your art form? What do you want it to do for you? Are you willing to share it with the world and still be struggling and still be working hard and 2 jobs and stuff, Are you willing to, read, learn, educate? Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to put down your ego, put it aside, and take advice? Sometimes we don't want to. We feel that we're doing the right thing, so I don't want to hear it, man. I've been doing this. Look, I'm already here. So if why would I listen to you, or why would I call you? You're just starting out, or you're smaller, or whatever, and not realizing that maybe they have connections, or maybe they know a little bit of something. So sometimes you got to put that down a little bit and be willing to listen for a minute. And it might not be the best advice. It might not even be the right advice or whatever, but you learned. Hey, I learned something. That guy don't know what he's talking about or something. It all depends. So a lot of times, sit down, think about what you want to do. Keep on creating. Don't stop creating, man. Don't stop your art form. Don't stop playing the garages and the little shows and the little stages and stuff like that. Be willing to take your group with you and work hard and talk together and learn. And but don't give up who you are as an artist. That's the main thing. And that's what this little video is about. I threw a lot of things out there. We'll get into all that. But you as an artist, man, you're something special. And there's something special in a lot of people. And they just don't realize it because they want it to sound like somebody else. Or you wanted the picture to look like something else. And it's not going to, right? If it does, something's not right. Now, you might have something similar. You may hit the certain notes. You may sound like you're playing kind of similar to that person. But it's not really because you're different. Be different. Take chances. Don't do the same things. Don't do the same thing that you hear and you go, man, it's got to sound like that. No. Sound different than that. Sound above that. Create yourself, man. Make something. Make something that people are just going to be sitting there going, wow, that's something different, something unique. So this is my video. This is one of my videos on when people ask me. This is the first thing you're going to hear. And tell me if I'm not lying, because a lot of you have asked me and I've said the same thing. And we'll do some more videos. And like I said, I want to try and keep these under 15 minutes. I'm fighting with my camera. I'm fighting with my phone, trying to figure out which is the best way to do these videos. And it's ridiculous. Hey, anybody got any advice for me? But anyway, these are my videos, and we'll be doing a lot more. This is Real Music Radio. Check out the websites. Check out everything, realmusicradio.com. Go check out all the artists, man. Go click on everything. This is what I'm talking about. Support each other. Do it. It's worth it. So we'll be talking to you next time. And until then, make sure to keep on respecting music, man. Real music for real music lovers is what it's all about. You guys take care now. Peace.